Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Sushi Dragon Masters, and today I am doing my October wrap-up. So in the month of October, I forgot to make a reading goal for myself, so I guess that means I passed it. I read 6 books, and yeah, so let's get started. The first book I read in October was The Finally Persuasion by Jessamine West. This was a book I had to read for school because I was watching the movie, so I had to read the book. And this is basically more of like a collection of short stories about a Quaker family, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. I mean, the writing wasn't bad, it just really wasn't my thing. So, if that's your thing, then you might like it. It's just not my thing. Then the next book I finished in October was The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, and I love this book so much. This is the final Percy Jackson the Olympians book. I cried a lot. I destroyed it. I wrote in it. I regret nothing, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 because this was just an amazing ending to an amazing series. And I highly recommend this series to anyone, ever, no matter how old you are, you will like this because it's just that awesome. Then the next book I read was The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, and this is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series. This takes place after the final Percy Jackson the Olympians book, and basically Percy is missing and they need to find him. And we do get introduced to 3 new characters, Jason, Piper, and Leo. And I really enjoyed their characters, although out of the 3, I think Jason was my favorite. And I'm actually really excited to see the Roman demigod camp, because I just want to know what it is, you know? I'm just so curious. I gave this book a 4 out of 5, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read in October was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, and I loved this book. I loved it more than the first one, and I can't really say why because of spoiler reasons, but I am just so excited to continue on with the series. This book made me cry. You know, it doesn't take that much to really make me cry, especially if it's something happy. I mean, I cry when things are sad, but I find a lot of things really sad, so, yeah. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5, before I forget to say that. The next book I read was The Sea of Monsters graphic novel, and this was adapted by Robert Venditti. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. I do enjoy reading the Percy Jackson series as graphic novels, but just there are problems I have with it. Like, they're never consistent with people's looks when drawing them, because in the first one they changed Grover's hair color like I don't know how many times, and in here Luke went cross-eyed. Yeah. They also took out some things that I would have wanted to see in here, but overall I did enjoy it, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. The last book I read in October was The Rose Society by Marie Lu. This is the second book in the Young Elites trilogy, and I loved the Young Elites. I thought it was really good, and I was really curious to see where it was going, but I was very disappointed with this one. I really feel like she's trying to push this series into being a trilogy, when in reality it could have just been 2 books. Like, I do think there needs to be more than 1 book, because the first book just kind of had so much information in it that if you threw more in, it would be really, really long. And not that I would complain about that, that would be cool and all. but I do think it would probably be better as 2 books because I really feel like she could have just finished everything in here, but she kept pushing it, and it got to the point of being a little ridiculous, and I wasn't really catching on with why different things were happening. I mean, maybe when the 3rd book comes out, it'll explain a little more why different things in this book happened, and then maybe I might feel a little differently about it. But also, I do have one very big complaint about this one, and that is that it's not a spoiler at all, I can say this, but there were a couple characters in the book who were riding horses, and it kept saying that they kicked the horses' hindquarters. And I ride, like, I know how to ride a horse, I ride often, and, you know, that's impossible, especially considering the fact that they were in 2-point, or how do I explain this different? Like, you know how jockeys lean forward? They were kind of in that position, and if you were to, even if your feet weren't in stirrups, if you were to lift your foot far enough back to kick, well, they're using both their feet. So if you were to pick up both your feet to lift them far enough back while you were in that position to kick the horse's butt, you would fall off. There is no question about it. So it was completely, yeah. And I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5. So anyways, that is my wrap up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!